Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Anne Marie, and today I'm going to discuss 10 Things I Love About You, Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. Before we begin, let me remind you that I will not reveal any plot twists, nor will I spoil any surprise endings, so don't worry about that. The whole point of this is to give you an inside peek into the book. If you've already read it, or if my video inspires you to do so, and you feel compelled to add to my list, feel free to do so in the comments, and I will take a look. So here we go. Darling Girls is about 3 women, Jessica, Nora, and Alicia, who were raised by their foster mother, Miss Fairchild, on a sprawling, whimsical country estate with horses and a swimming pool. But, as the book jacket reveals, their childhood wasn't the fairy tale everyone thinks it was, which is ultimately why the 3 girls worked together to escape from Miss Fairchild. Even though they never saw her again, she was always lurking in the shadows of their minds. Now, 25 years later, when a body is discovered under the home they grew up in, the foster sisters find themselves in the spotlight as key witnesses. Or are they prime suspects? The first thing I love about this book is Jessica Lovat. Of the 3 girls, she was the first to arrive at the Wild Meadows foster home to be fostered by Miss Fairchild, and Chapter 1 starts from her perspective. Jessica runs a successful home organization business and is concentrating on positioning herself as Australia's leading expert on home organization. Nothing vexes her more than tardiness, messiness, people who cut corners, and people who miss RSVP deadlines. She hates having to change her plans, and she hates calls out of the blue, even when they are good news calls. Panic is her constant state of being, as familiar to her as breathing. Although Jessica is usually uptight, that's her personality. As the story progresses and we learn more about her upbringing, we start to understand why she acts the way she does. Nora with an H, Anderson, is second on my list. She arrives at Wild Meadows when she is 10 years old. Wild Meadows is her 7th foster placement. Now as an adult, Nora completes online IQ and psychometric testing for people applying for jobs. Basically, potential employees pay her $300 to complete the job screening tests for them. She guarantees a passing score or their money back. Nora is incredibly smart, but she's also extremely hot-blooded and frequently resorts to violence when dealing with her feelings. She has 3 dogs, a Greyhound, Great Dane mix named Converse, a regular greyhound named Couch, and a mutt named Thong. She named them for the first item they destroyed after coming to live with her. In Chapter 16, we learn that Nora is a committed liar, not to be confused with a good liar. Nora has the ability to come up with a lie on the spur of the moment and remain committed to it against all logic and reason. Alicia Connolly is 3rd on my list, and she was the 3rd girl to arrive at Wild Meadows just 4 months after Nora arrived. Although Alicia's care at Miss Fairchild's foster home was supposed to be temporary, she ended up staying long-term. Alicia is now a social worker who removes children from abusive circumstances and delivers them to foster care. I think the best way to describe Alicia is quick with witty comebacks. She's the type of person who throws caution to the wind, takes risks, acts first, and then thinks of the consequences later. The 4th thing I love about Darling Girls is the way the girls work together. Both inside the foster home and at school, they look out for each other. For example, in Chapter 9, when Jessica is bullied at school for not completing someone else's homework, Nora sticks up for her. Nora doesn't put up with other people treating her unfairly. Because she's street smart, Nora works out a deal for her and Jessica, which involves them being paid either with money or food for completing homework for other students. In Chapter 12, when Alicia isn't getting enough to eat, Jessica and Nora share their food with her. The 3 of them formed a sisterhood early on, and even though they are not biologically related, it doesn't matter. Their bond is strong, and their love for one another is unconditional. The 5th thing I love about Darling Girls is Phil. Phil is Jessica's husband who works as a greenskeeper at the Victoria Golf Club. Described as being small and athletic, he has earnest brown eyes and a warm smile. He's content with his life, and his nickname is Chill Phil. He's a genuinely happy person with a joyful demeanor, and he's a great match for Jessica because he respects her need for space. He is always welcoming and kind to Nora and Alicia because he knows how much Jessica's sisters mean to her. Even when Nora parks her car across the entire driveway of his house, he's okay with it and refrains from asking her to move it. Number 6 on my list is Mira Shaw. Mira is a child protection lawyer. Alicia describes her as being intelligent, passionate, and committed to her job. She's a caring lawyer who refrains from taking the easy way out. In Chapter 10, Alicia wishes someone like Mira had been looking out for her, Nora, and Jessica when they were at Wild Meadows. In Chapter 33, Mira recommends a lawyer when the police are questioning the three of them in connection to the body discovered under the home they grew up in. Overall, Mira is smart, considerate, and helpful, and when things get messy, she's the kind of friend they need. Specifically, she's the kind of friend Alicia needs in her life. The 7th thing I love about this book is that the chapters alternate between what is currently happening and what happened in the past. The chapters from Jessica, Nora, and Alicia's childhood give us information that is necessary for us to understand what ultimately happened at Wild Meadows while they were growing up there. The chapters from the present day explain how what happened in the past impacted their lives. The chapters change perspective throughout the story, and I think this format keeps the story interesting. In addition to the chapters from the past and the chapters from the present day, there are also sections labeled The Office of Dr. Warren, Psychiatrist. These sections are the 8th thing I love about Darling Girls. The book opens with one of these sections, and because we don't know who is talking to Dr. Warren, it adds intrigue and suspense to the story. The 9th thing I love about the book is how the experience of returning to Port Agatha to talk to the police about what they remember from their childhood changes Jessica, Nora, and Alicia. In Chapter 16, Port Agatha is described as a small farming community 2 hours from Melbourne, Australia. This is where Jessica, Nora, and Alicia were raised by Miss Fairchild at the Wild Meadows farm, and this is where they return when a body is discovered under the home they grew up in. Being there for just a few days ultimately changes the course of their lives, and they all walk away different people. And finally, the 10th thing I love about Darling Girls is the last chapter. The last chapter will make your jaw drop. Just when you think the story has concluded, author Sally Hepworth throws one last curveball at you that will make you go, "Oh, you've got to be kidding. What? No way." It's that kind of finale. If you've read the book and would like to add to my list of things to love, feel free to do so in the comments. Until next time, take care, be well, and happy reading.